What up, Bucs fans? We are back. It is Real Bucs Talk live here on a Monday evening. And man, it feels great to be back talking some football. And we're obviously going to, get into just some different topics tonight, talk about the Gronk retirement, recap the offseason a little bit. But Mark, first things first, how are you doing? How's your weekend? Obviously, it was tough to see the Tampa Bay Lightning lose last night in the Stanley Cup Finals, but still a great year for them.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone in Tampa was watching that one, hoping for a game seven. It was going to be a tough battle. I mean, I know this is a Bucs show or NFL show, but still, like Tampa native, everyone got involved in it. It was almost like everyone else didn't want the Lightning to win, including the refs. Almost every win that Colorado had was, I guess, could have gone up in the air if the refs would have made a good decision. Besides game two was a hell of a onslaught. But hey, either way, better team won. We won two in a row. Better luck next year, right? I mean, Bassie was pissed off, so I expect them to be in the same position next year.
Right.
But
Yeah.
guys in the chat, what's up, guys? Christopher Britt, what's going on? Glad to have you part of the show. Edward Fernandez, what's going on? Let's get some Bucs conversation going. So Plus mentioned it about Gronk. Yeah, we did a little video on it. If you guys like our little quick recap videos, it's something new we're kind of doing here. It's kind of fun, quick, easy, and we can get the content out to you guys pretty quick. So we like doing that. But let us know how you feel about that in the comments. But other than that, I mean, Gronk being out, we almost all thought he was going to come back, but then now he's officially saying he's retired. The biggest thing is this offense, we try to say it in that video, it's not necessarily led through the tight end. It's not at all led through the tight end. So the only reason Gronk was getting catches was because he's a Hall of Famer that's on the field and he has a connection with Tom Brady. That's literally the biggest reason he got the ball. Without Gronk there, tight ends aren't going to be really targeted that much, even though that we think they should, especially in the red zone, just to kind of offset what's going on in the offense. It just won't happen. Swartz and Cannon's Bucs podcast. Gronk is lying. Yeah, I hope so. I hope Brady calls near December, says, tune it up. Let's get back on the field, but we'll see. But either way, I mean, my point was offense is led by wide receivers. It's more of an open field or down the field, clear out space for, we're talking 15, 20-yard gains, not just 5 to 10. So I know Brady's the one throwing the ball, but the offense is built that way. The scheme is that way. And that's why I think some people are thinking all hell's breaking loose because Gronk's gone. It's still the meat and potatoes of this offense is still there.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think, the biggest thing is the production that, Gronk provided. Yes, that will, be missed, but I think at the same time, you will have that production increase from other players like the receivers, like you mentioned. I think Mike Evans is going to be able to get more looks inside the red zone, or at least they're going to try. They're going to use him in different ways. You'll see him utilized more in the slot. ISOs on the outside in the red zone area. They're definitely going to try to get him more involved, getting more touchdowns. And the same, could be said with Russell Gage, and obviously Chris Godwin is going to be a big factor. But then you look at our other tight ends, Cam Breaks.
Before you jump to that though, look at Mike's numbers with Tom. So he had 1,000, barely 1,000, but then he had that injury at the end of the year, and then he had barely 1,000 again. I could see this being 1,200, 13 or more, considering Gronk's not there. He's like literally his favorite target other than Gronk. It was Mike Evans, and then if a healthy Godwin and Russell Gage come in, it just more attention to get away from Mike Evans. But still, he's going to get the targets even more because Gronk's not there. He's going to go to his number one guy, which will be Mike Evans. You saw what the production was in the red zone. Look at that. It's almost automatic. So give me some more yards to go with that. He could have a monster season, and we're not just looking at 1,000. I'm thinking, could he break his all-time high with his 1,500 yards? And that's not me talking lightly. I think it's truly possible for that to happen.
Right. No, I think, looking at the production, I didn't even know he had that many touchdowns over the last 2 seasons, but, 27 touchdowns. So I think that number could increase, which is crazy to say. But, Mike is dominant inside the red zone. But you also look at the guy who is probably going to pick up some more load at the tight end position, and that's Cameron Brate. And Cameron has been a very, solid red zone tight end. He's a guy that Brady looks at inside the red zone, and he gets touchdowns in there. And I think those numbers could go back up for Cam. And then you look at Russell Gage, who's just able to separate and create space for himself. I think he's going to be an option. And then obviously Chris Godwin. But, just looking at those, the tight ends that are going to step up now with Cameron and obviously Cade Otton. Cade Otton's a big body. I think he's going to be able to, do some work inside the red zone. Same thing with O'Keefe. So overall, I think, the loss of Gronk obviously hits you in some ways because he's the greatest tight end of all time. And, his blocking and catching, obviously that's an impact. And now you're asking rookies to come in and be some type of, consistent as far as blockers, and then obviously catch the ball when the ball is thrown to them. But I think production wise will be okay because like you said, the offense is run through the wide receivers, and you have a quarterback that knows how to find them and knows how to not force feed the football. He's going to find the open man. And I think in a way with Gronk being gone, I don't think he's going to force feed it to Gronk like we've seen in the past. You're going to see him be even more, find that open dude to get the ball.
And that almost makes this offense even more scary. Yes, having Gronk as a safety blanket is huge. But, I mean, this is going to open up a lot more. People are not even going to give a crap about Cade Otton. So don't worry about that. That'll come to fruition once it actually comes together. But I'd be more scared of what is Russell Gage going to look like in this offense. Think of the opportunities he's going to get now. Think of the opportunities once Chris Godwin comes back, how open and it's not going to be, I guess, not slowed down because of Gronk being there, but just Brady's going to have to rely on other things on the outside. And in the middle, don't worry, that'll happen with time because Brady's going to always, that's his second nature to kind of look for that dump down. But I see it as more of an opportunity to actually have this offense fly how it's supposed to and big numbers. That's how I see big numbers.
Right.
I just want to see what he's going to become. I don't have any expectation for him. Great, yeah, do your thing. Let's just get Cade Otton blocking, and hopefully this running game starts coming to fruition. But I don't see it as that big of a loss as some people think, and wanting us to get veterans and things. What's your take on that?
Yeah, as far as adding another tight end, I don't know. I don't know if he'll do it. I mean, who you going to go out and get a Kyle Rudolph who
this was a big name.
Jimmy Graham, sure, but
35.
I mean, yeah, I don't know who they would pick up. Jared Cook, again, older guys that, I mean, out of that group, I mean, the best is probably Kyle Rudolph from a blocking standpoint, and also can do some things, catching the football inside the red zone. But I don't know. I think they're going to lean on, the young group. If they don't feel confident in that group, maybe they make a move to add one of those pieces. But I don't think it's a necessity. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Again, it's still a long way till, the first preseason game and obviously the regular season. But with that said, we're only 4 weeks away from training camp, as training camp starting July 27th. So, yeah. I mean, we're right around the corner. We take a break from Lightning hockey and we go right into the next sport, which is Buccaneers football. And pretty crazy to think about, which with everything that has happened, during this offseason. And let's just touch a little bit on that as far as just a whirlwind that this offseason has been with just, Tom Brady retiring. We don't know what's going to happen with this team. Free agents could leave. And it's been pretty crazy so far.
Yeah, I mean, the drama that we mentioned this almost every show, the drama-filled NFL. I mean, we went from losing Brady for 41 days to getting him back to everyone re-signing. Sue said he's not going to come back, but then we get Akeem Hicks to fill the hole. JPP still out there for someone to take. It looks like he's not coming back. We'll see. You never know. But, I mean, it just looked like the Bucs saw what we saw. He was just kind of winding down. Even though he's a great leader, awesome setting the edge, it's just, I mean, you got to find ways where your younger guys can step in and start showing up and producing. I mean, you drafted JTS that high. Some people were like, oh, he's not going to be able to fill in the hole. How do you know? 1 year, and he was 1 year removed from sitting out a year. So does he make that massive jump up like his body shows it should? And he looks like a Greek god. Can he perform like that? We don't necessarily know. He hasn't got the repetitions to do that. So I'm anxious to see that. I think the Bucs are relying heavily on him. Do they get something to go behind him to kind of get some more depth? We'll see. But still, the excitement is all there. All the pieces are still in place. Hell, we lost Allie, trade for Shaq Mason. I mean, there's been a whole lot of whirlwind, but fun, exciting. The draft was exciting, getting pieces in there. And then, yeah, like, so over here, TB12 Goatman was saying pick Lenny in your fantasy football drafts. I mean, just had him on too. Well, Mr. Rashad White. I mean, you don't think he's going to be getting targets? Another pass catching option for Brady, someone in the flats. Like, I think this is going to be a dangerous weapon. And that's more targets. It's going to go away from Gronk. That could go to your running backs, your outside receivers, your slot guys. It's going to be fun. I think it's just this offense has a lot of potential to be even more exciting than it's been in the past. 30 year under Brady. Good luck, defenses. Good luck. And if we have any offensive line to block, good luck.
But yeah, I mean, just, my overall thoughts, going into the offseason, it was just like, okay, Brady, shortly after the playoff loss, he announces that he's retired. So my mindset is, okay, we need to start scouting quarterbacks. We need to start looking at, Kyle Trask. We need to start looking at Blaine Gabbert if he's going to be the starter. And,
think about that. That's
it's crazy.
Like, well, maybe he can get us to the playoffs. Maybe.
It's like, yeah, I mean, do we just go into, okay, we're going to support Kyle Trask? Is he going to be the dude leading this offense? Is he ready? A lot of us thought, okay, well, no, he might not be ready because we just haven't seen him play, and he's going to need more time. He's going to need more just experience overall. And, with the offense, with the pieces that we have, okay, we thought, maybe we can, change it up a little bit. We're going to run the football a little bit more. We're going to become more physical team. And Kyle will be okay just passing to, the playmakers that we have on the team already. Defensively, you had, free agents, Carlton Davis, Jordan Whitehead. I'm forgetting other people. Ryan Jensen, was he going to be back? Obviously, Alex Kappa, the return of that. And then all of a sudden, it's like, Tom Brady comes back, but then Ali Marpet retires. So sorry about that. That's my phone.
Ali Marpet calling in.
Yeah. But it was just wild. Like, okay, Tom Brady comes back, and then, a couple pieces sign, Carlton Davis, Ryan Jensen signed back. And then it just looks like, okay, we're going to reload instead of rebuild here. Like Bruce Arians always talks about. And then Bruce Arians steps down, and we have a new head coach and Todd Bowles. So just a lot of things that happen.
I didn't even mention that one. That's insane.
Yeah. Yeah. Like,
head coach. Think about that.
We have a new head coach. So a lot of things just happened all of a sudden. And it's crazy to think about it that way.
Man, I don't know if it's just Tampa or if it's every team in the league, but everything from management,
right,
from coaching to player personnel, your quarterback. That's a massive whirlwind, but hey, it's exciting. And at the end of the day, right now, so far, we're still primed to make a big playoff run considering what we have. And I'm ready for that. I mean, I know the Lightning season's over, but hell, it is Bucs season now. Like you just said, 4 weeks away from training camp. I can already feel it. It was sad to see the Lightning lose, but it is exciting and freaking too much, like breaking through the screen kind of type, where you're rooting for the Buccaneers and hoping to see guys just take off. Let's get to some of the topics here into the chat really quick. So people are more Lenny again. I see Lenny being sort of a halfback because he can block and catch as well. I think Breed does fine being tight end number one. And there's some controversy here. Breed is not. So I guess what's your take on that? I know we kind of touched on it, but are you comfortable with Breed being your number one? I think it's either way going to be a tight end by committee. I don't think anyone's truly going to be number one. When
Yeah.
Gronk was number one in New England, yeah, that was it. But when he wasn't there, when he was hurt and stuff, it was just by committee. They still kept winning. So, what's your take on that?
Yeah, I think, Cam is going to be asked to do what he does best, and that's just, be reliable, used as, a slot tight end, a move tight end, and catch the football. They're not going to ask him to, stay in line, block, and, pass protect like Gronk would do. That's why they got Kate Otten, and that's why they got Keefe and these other guys to, help out in that situation. But yeah, Brate's just going to do what he does best, and that's be open in the middle of the field, be dependable, go up the seams, and be reliable and catch inside the red zone. I don't think they're going to ask him to do,
Yeah,
what all that Gronk was. They're not going to ask him to do that kind of stuff.
perfect answer right here.
Yeah.
Gronk is slow. Also, I don't know about all that, but we're not going to ask Brate to do what Gronk did. We just him to be Brate, catch balls up the seam and block and releases. I agree with that. I didn't necessarily think Gronk is slow. I think he just has a weird running uh, pattern. But I mean, we're not asking Brate to be Gronk. He says it here. Just catch the ball when thrown to, block a little bit. Don't even block a lot. That's why we got Kate Otten and
Yeah.
Keefe. I mean, yes, they're rookies, but they're way bigger than you. Just be a reliable option. That's all you got to do. Let the outside guys do what they're going to do. And guess what? Because Gronk's not here, don't force a round peg into a square hole, whatever the hell that saying is. Go to your outside running backs, find them in the slot or in the flats. There's other options. You don't have to force feed things. But here's one huge topic I want to talk about, and I feel like we talk about all the time.
Mhm.
We can go even more in depth because it got brought up. So Bucs overrated over here says the Bucs edge rush isn't scaring no team. And okay, I'm going to set this up even more. I agreed with him fully. In the offseason, I said this is what we need to address. Edge rush. I mean, we got to be able to win with 4. That's just what it needs to be. Because clearly we didn't do it. We had to send in so many blitzes, and then you had to rely on zone blitz packages for people to be there. Start shooting yourself in the foot. I thought our front 4 needed to be improved. I thought it meant by the edge. And what do? We improve the interior of the defensive line. Jason Light talked about it. BA talked about it before stepping down. They need to get quicker inside to get that pressure inside. And I can see, yeah, that will help your outside edge rushers because everyone's concentrating on the middle. So I guess expand on that. What do you think on our edge rushers? And did they make the right move getting, like Hall in the middle and bringing Akeem Hicks too?
Yeah, I think, interior pressure is, always the big thing. And if you can get interior pressure, you can affect a lot of quarterbacks. So when looking at that, I think, Shaq Barrett was still very good last season. I know a lot of people, talk about him making more splash plays and getting more forced fumbles, et cetera, et cetera. But when you break it down, I mean, the dude played very well. And I think he'll be even better this season with more interior pressure from Vita Vea, Akeem Hicks, Logan Hall. If we can get that interior pressure, I think that opens up the door for him to be more successful, more consistent from a playmaking standpoint, especially going up against left tackles where that's his best rush side, I think. And then JTS, I think more development and just being in football, not having a year off. I think being in more football shape, I think is going to help him. And, asking him to rush for one side and not move all over the place, I think is going to benefit him tremendously. So I understand where the concerns come from. Yeah, they have to be better. They have to be more consistent and make more splash plays. But I think overall the group is just more deeper. And I think that's going to help you out be better.
Yeah, and like I touched on it,
Mhm.
it went from a B grade. Where's this at? B tier edge rush, and it immediately dropped C tier edge rush. So I see what he's saying. Okay, so you lose JPP, didn't really add anything else on the edge. There's nothing improved. You're bringing back Shaq, who had 10 sacks last season, the most quiet 10 sacks I think I've ever seen of any player in Tampa. And then JTS is going to step into JPP's role because he's not on the team, guys. So someone's going to have to fill that void. You're hoping he makes a jump up in production. Then you have Anthony Nelson, the only other guy who got, I think it was 5 sacks last season. Very quiet 5 sacks.
Yeah.
Does he make a jump with more production and more time for plays? So let's see. I mean, I wouldn't say they're C production. I think they're B plus, but you can't have an A everywhere, guys. You got to find ways where you can have your best players shine, and if they're not on the field, but that's the way you made your team. You can't have a Pro Bowl All Pro player at every position. It's just not going to happen. I mean, that's what everyone wanted with our right guard position with like Caleb Benenoch back in the day. Well, we need to have an All Star or All Pro. It just doesn't happen that way. You got to draft and rely on the guys that you drafted. I think the guys that they did draft that they have in home are serviceable enough, and this is the way they're built. Like our offense is built to be outside pushing the ball down the field. They're going to stick to it, and their defense is built pressure up the middle, make everyone get congested in the middle, so you get one-on-ones on the outside with Shaq Barrett, JTS, Anthony Nelson. Who's going to be that fourth guy? Cam Gill, maybe, or someone else. We'll see. But I think they're just setting up one-on-ones on the outside. And if someone has to get doubled, because dare I say Shaq Barrett goes nuts and has almost a 20-sack season again, then that means we're just dominating. It's because Akeem Hicks is getting in too much, and they're helping somewhere. And that's what they're probably hoping on, instead of just a power push with like Sue and Vita Vea. Imagine got everywhere in the interior. They're having to worry. And then if you have to double Akeem Hicks and Devin White's sent in on a blitz, good luck running away from that guy. Yeah. So I can see what they're trying to set up and why people think our edge rush isn't that great. But, I mean, I understand what they're trying to do, but I understand the concern of the fans too. So it's tough. It's just what happens when there's production on the field. I mean, this is all in a vacuum too, where everyone's healthy. JPP got hurt a lot and played with injuries a lot. So if his shoulder could move, guarantee he would have had a better season last year too.
Yeah, I think this is a great point here. Secondary being healthy and doing their job. Last year the secondary was all over the place because it seemed like there's a new player in there every week because of injuries. So if the secondary can, stay healthy and you can have your top 3 guys and Jamel Dean and Carlton Davis, Antoine Winfield, alongside Mike Edwards, who is the better, free safety. And now you bring in a Logan Ryan, who's a more veteran presence, calming presence back there, communicates very well. Keanu Neal can come in and, be that extra linebacker / star, backer as far as being a cover guy, and also come down in the box and just tackle. I think those 2 guys tackle better, give you more consistency, alongside there. I like the group. I like the group overall defensively, and that'll allow your edge rush to be better because it gives you just a consistent coverage, back there.
I mean, so in that sense of the secondary being healthy, yes, that works. Same thing with your interior line being healthy, your linebackers being healthy. To me, it all starts up front. That's where it is. I mean, you're going to accelerate the decision a lot faster if someone's in your face. You're going to have to throw the ball faster. I mean, building from the back front, it worked once with the Legion of Boom, and then I don't think it'll work any other time. The quarterbacks are just protected too much in this league, and the corners and safeties can't hit anyone. So it's hard for them to literally be, let me give you another second. You can't touch anyone without throwing a flag nowadays. So I think it has to be from your interior, because that's the way we're going to build it through this defense. Get that initial pressure immediately, get the quarterback off their spot and force them to make a one-sided decision, not see the whole open field. And that's something where if you don't push the pocket, you're not going to be able to do that. It doesn't matter what the secondary is doing. You can eliminate half the damn field because the guy's flushing out. That's a win in my book. So I'm still going to put it all on the defensive line. I did in the beginning of the season too, of the off season, and I think they need to step up. That's point blank.
Yeah, I think the front 7 as a whole has to step up. I mean, we can go into the linebacking core with Levante David and Devin White. They have to be more consistent. They have to be able to attack downhill. So all that stuff, I think, goes into each other. So I think a lot of them have to, everyone has to step up from that group. I think they have to be better overall. So JTS has to take a step up, but that's everybody. Like, Carlton Davis needs to catch the football.
Yeah.
Like, um, Sean Murphy Bunting needs to become a more consistent player. So all of that can go hand in hand. Will they? I think they will, because I trust this group. I trust the coaching staff, especially defensively. I think they were upset last year because that's not who they were, um, for most of the year. They didn't really get to show what they can be. And I think with guys now in place, and now you add in more veteran pieces, especially in the secondary, but also up front with Akeem Hicks, I think you got a good group there. But again, we'll have to see it. We have to see it come forward.
That's something we didn't really address. So, like,
Mhm.
I address this in two fashions. So, outside leverage says the D line has a depth issue that should have been better addressed in the draft. Fans will probably realize this later. So, I I think defensive line wise, they've got 3 or 4 deep in the interior. I think they're okay
Mhm.
there. I think I've been saying this on time and time again. They should have done something to the outside edge rushers. They just should have, and they
Mhm.
haven't. They still don't. I love the JTS draft last year. I just thought there should have been something else. We'll see. I mean, does someone make that step? But that's a worry. That's a big worry. Do they sign someone like a Trey Flowers? That would ease all of my troubles. I'll be honest. But interiorly, what they did want to address, they did. To me, I
Mhm.
mean, getting Hakeem Hicks to me, that's whether it be a push because he's similar to Sue, but still, he's getting better interior rush than Sue did. Uh, Vita Vea, he's already a mainstay. Behind him is Nacho Hall, who's got better interior pass rusher as well. So I mean, that's 4 deep to me, and that's not including William Golson. So to me, I think defensive line is okay. Adding Logan Ryan, adding Keanu Neal, I think that's humongous. That's going to give you that hopefully that extra second because their awareness on the field, ability to knock the crap out of people, just heady type of player, veteran players. I think it's going to be huge, and that's an area where I think is people are under talking about.
Mm.
Even though we lost Jordan Whitehead, we still got these other pieces that kind of help fill voids.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think there's also a I guess offensive awareness,
I read some of the comments.
yeah, I know a lot of people are, downing the Kyle Trask pick, and I understand that, but who you really gonna take, there in that end of the second round, third round? I don't know.
People will find names.
Oh, I'm sure they will. I'm sure. Uh, but point blank is this roster, I think, is put together pretty well. I think they need to, um, just step up. And I think offensively, we need to be more efficient. And I think they will be from just a continuity standpoint. You talked about it, Tom Brady, Mike Evans, all these guys being on a better page, better wavelength. I think it's going to help them. The offensive line, I think, will be more physical with a Shaq Mason in there. Also with, whether it be Luke Giddicky or whoever starts at left guard, I think they're going to be able to run the football a little bit more effectively, and that's going to help Tom Brady with the play action, etc. But top to bottom, I like the group heading in. I think the offseason was a pretty solid offseason when you look at it from top to bottom, adding veterans on the defense, but also adding guys, in the pass rush with Akeem Hicks. I think we'll be fine. So, over yeah, overall, I think we'll be okay. Um,
Oh, comments. Yeah, this is great. I just gotta read it out loud just to hear it. Trash was the worst pick. Might have cost us a dynasty. No bullshit. I, I don't know the logic behind that one. If
yeah,
Brady leaves, how does drafting Trask ruin a dynasty? I I don't know. I guess there was
I don't know.
someone else they wanted. I
I don't know. But
because
anyways, we're gonna have to cut it short. But I want to add this to the stream. I'll let you talk about this, Mark, a little bit more in depth. We'll bring this up here. So I'll
yeah,
just let you talk about that, and then we'll end the show with this.
Yeah, this is something cool we're getting involved in. This is a local kind of company, just event that I want to get into, and it's going to be fun to kind of get involved with. It's made by the Tampa Games. It's a website here. Let me add this to the stream as well. This is their website. Tampa Games right here. It's literally just a CrossFit Games. It's an event where you can go if you have kids and stuff just to watch these athletes work out, and they have fun and games for kids to do. It's not just watching these monsters do their thing. There's special appearances. It could be other athletes. It could be pro athletes. It could be anything. But it's just an event that you can kind of go and enjoy. And look where it's at. Tampa Convention Center right there, August 27th through 28th. If you use our code RBT25, you get 25% off the tickets. There's food, drinks, vendors. They have Oakley. They got literally everything. It's not just, oh, meathead, whatever it is. If you're a football fan, if you're a sports fan, you like this stuff. It just, the competitive nature of all this. And then not to mention, it's fun. It's a fun, exciting event to get involved in. And we may be doing a live stream from there because it's going to be during a Bucs preseason game. So we're thinking about getting down there and doing a show and getting involved and seeing this ourselves. So if you guys are interested in something like that, hell, we may be live, so you may see us showing some of the athletes. But other than that, guys, check them out. Like I showed you in the actual clip right here, TampaBayGames.com. Check it out. Go get some tickets. Check them out. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. I'm excited to get involved with it too. But other than that, guys, if you like the content, you know, guys, what to do. Hit that like button, comment, subscribe if you haven't just yet. Yeah, sack that like button right here. I mean, this is a Niners fan saying it. That's awesome. Thanks, y'all. But other than that, until the next one.